Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Xblick here. Now, as you guys can see, this is the third installment of my Tensei Deku. Now, or as he is called in the series, Apollyon. Now, if you guys do enjoy this, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That will be cool. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it doesn't do anything, it's for free, so just click it. We want that button to be grey, not red, grey. So hit it and it'll be cool. But anyway, that should be awesome. So anyway, just guys remember, God is awesome, and let's just get straight into what if Deku was isekai'd to that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Let's go. So before this what if kind of starts up, I just gotta kind of say, like, these videos, these next two videos are pretty much continuous of the first one. So part 2, 3 and 4 were all done in the same session, so that's how that kind of went. So yeah, anyway, yeah. Now where we last left off, pretty much, Apollyon, he went back with Rimuru and he got to know everybody. He's pretty much become his right hand man. He's become Rimuru's right hand man. He goes everywhere with him. He does a lot of training, and he met the adventurers with Shizu and all of that. And we have finally gotten up to the bit where Shizu is about to go Ifrit on us. So let's get straight into the story. His Rimuru's like, what? What's going on? Like, what do you mean she lost control? He's like, he doesn't really have time to explain, really. So he's kind of just stressing out. He's like, oh no, this ain't good. Like, he knows that they're strong enough, but he's scared for the adventurers and, like, the village. Like, why did she have to lose control right in the middle of the village? So yeah, he's kind of like, oh come on, this has got to be a joke, right? So, oh goodness, yeah. So, Shizu does her old thing. She's like freaking out as they realize, like, yo, that's like Shizu Izawa. Like, what the heck? What the heck? Like, what's going on? Yeah. So. Yeah, so Apollyon, like, he just straight up says, like, we're in the presence of the hero Shizu Izawa, and we're about to be in the presence of the legendary fire spirit Ifrit. Is there like, ha, what? You say what now? It's like the three adventurers, they're like freaking out, like Eren, Cavell and Guido, they're freaking out, they're like, what? 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 Is they're freaking out, like, and yeah, as the kind of fire goes up and the smoke surrounds the sky, he's like, Apollyon just realized, like, you've got to be kidding me. As the other two, or the adventurers ask, like, what's going on? He's like, I need the sun. I'm a lot weakened at the moment. And they're like, what? Us Solarians, the Solarian race, are strengthened by the sun and are weakened by the kind of absence of it. As they're like, is there any way we can get out of this? Like, can you get stronger in any way? He's like, yeah, I have to absorb their fire though, and that's going to be a difficult task. because I can't absorb and defend and attack at the same time. You can only do one. It's like, okay. So yeah. Anyway, kind of Ifrit explodes out of Shizu and turns into Shizu as... Oh, no, Shizu turns into Ifrit, you know, possessing Shizu's body as... Yeah, so... They all kind of do their whole thing. They're like freaking out, like, yo, what the... What is going on? Yeah, so... As that happens, a giant torrent of fire comes up and explodes everything. As Apollyon, he tries to absorb a lot of it to regain strength and defend the others. Yeah, so as kind of Ifrit explodes, he does his whole roar, he screams out as the giant pillars of fire start bursting up as shockwaves go across the ground. Apollyon puts out his hand, screaming out, "Ranged barrier!" as a giant kind of orange-white barrier thing comes up and blocks most of the attack, or most of the thing, but shattering later on and hitting the rest of the people. As Cavall puts up his own little barrier, but that thing's a little weak barrier, so it kind of gets shattered immediately and gets smacked. So yeah, the ranged barrier, he holds it there and it's blocking it for a little bit until it gets broken. And yeah, so as the fire pillars then turn into giant fire-breathing salamander creatures, they start floating around, sparkling fire dust onto the tents and the buildings as they all go up in flames. Apollyon, thinking quick on his feet, immediately brings his hand out as he uses flame control, or control flame, or whatever it's called, control flame, as he immediately brings the flames around, turning them to a giant tornado, stopping the fire from burning the buildings, as he brings it around and shoots it immediately at Ifrit, who isn't really affected by it at all. And yeah, so he uses all that as later on the salamanders start going around and attacking Rimuru and the adventurers, as earlier on Rigurd and Rigur go around and evacuate the village. And yeah, so Apollyon, he does start using barriers and fire attacks and all that, and they all start attacking the salamanders which are up in the air, as Rimuru uses his, or Erin uses her kind of ice attack to slay the creatures, or not slay them, but to hit them and injure them. Sorry about that, got a creaky chair. But yeah, so as she uses her ice attack, Rimuru asks, why aren't, my attack, how are you able to attack, he asks Great Sage that and all that. As Apollyon, he, gets ready, he uses, a bunch of fire attacks. He uses Firestorm, which does do a little bit of damage, I'm not gonna lie. It does, actually singe and hurt the salamanders, but does not kill them, since they have got a major fire resistance. So yeah, so he uses Firestorm as it bursts towards the things, as Rimuru, he uses his ice shotgun as it slays 2 of the salamanders immediately. And as this happens, the last salamander, it goes towards the 3 kind of, what are they called? The 3 kind of people, the 3 adventurers, as it starts to do its self-destruct sequence, ready to blow. Apollyon, seeing this, he immediately jumps towards it, and shielding the three adventurers, putting up a ranged shield, and at the same time trying to absorb the kind of fire. Or no, he just he jumps in front of the salamander. As the explosion happens, he uses he absorbs pretty much all of the fire, but the shockwave and the force still sends him and the adventurers flying back. And yeah, so the adventurers, they are still hurt. Apollyon did stop them from getting fire damage, but they are still hurt from the shockwave. Apollyon, being the Chad he is, just stands back up, he's all good. Yeah, so he stands back up as he's like, oh damn, that was not a nice feeling. Is Rimuru, like, he realizes, he sends Runga out, and they stop the kind of people, the what's it called? He sends the adventurers away as they all run away since they're all hurt. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Apollyon, as the Apollyon is still kind of starting to get back up. He is still hurt from it, but yeah, as Rimuru does his whole shtick with what's his face, with Ifrit. He does his ice shotgun, taking down all of the clones, as what's his face, as Rimuru does get, like, the giant fire tornado bursted at him again, as he screams out, he's like, ah, no, I was burning, I'm melting. He does all that, and then he realizes he's not getting burnt. As Apollyon, he just asks, like, yo, are you done yet? Like, are you done being a dramatic little child? As Rimuru is like, huh? What? Why am I not burning? As what's his face? As Great Sage does the whole thing, says like, yo, you got fire resistance. You can't get burnt. As he's like, oh, neat. As this happens, when Ifrit does his whole kind of thing, he leaves and he gets wrapped around by the string, the thingy string, the sticky steel thread. Apollyon just leaps through the fire. He just leaps through the fire tornado, bursting out a giant amount of firestorm, just blasting Ifrit, quite heavily damaging him. As it does weaken him a bit, as he uses that and he grabs his helio chains and wraps them around. It's kind of like, if you guys are wondering what helio chains is like, if you guys know what Black Whip is from My Hero Academia, which this is pretty much a My Hero Academia story, but yeah, so it's pretty much like Black Whip from My Hero Academia. If you guys know what that is, that's cool. If you don't know what that is, sucks to suck. Sorry, but yeah, so he does that as he wraps his helio chains around what's his face. He wraps it around Ifrit, restraining him even more. As he just straps his like, Lord Rimuru, use Predator, eat this man. As because he sees it immediately. He's like, yo, we gotta eat this man. He gotta go down. So same stuff happens. Rimuru eats Ifrit, and so yay, that's pretty cool. Ifrit gets eaten. And yeah, so from that he gains the skill Combustion, which is pretty much able to turn his entire body into fire. Like, it's not just his head now, like his entire body turns into fire. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. After this, they see Shizu on the ground, hurt and sad, as they put her to bed. And pretty much, when she wakes up, the same story does happen, where Rimuru is talking to kind of Shizu, and the only difference is Apollyon is standing there in the doorway. As that happens, he's just standing there guarding the door, and the same conversation happens. Apollyon hears her entire story, blah 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 blah, and as this, Shizu also does decide to, like, ask Apollyon, like, how did you know that you're able to defeat Ifrit? Like, he's strong. He's a strong spirit. Like, he's one of the strongest spirits ever. As Apollyon's like, I just had faith. Like, I knew that Lord Rimuru was strong enough to defeat him. Like, I just had faith. And yeah, so he just says that as sorry. But yeah. So after that happens, he guards the door, and Shizu pretty much dies. Like, the final, like, story happens, Shizu dies. And Apollyon hears about the kids, and he is thinking about this. Like, he's pondering about these, like, different otherworlder kids. And at this point, he's trying to, he, like, starts to get memories. Like, he just thinks, like, otherworlder. From another world. Why does that sound so familiar? Like, why do I feel like I resonate with that? And yeah, so when Shizu dies, Apollyon leaves the room and pretty much stands outside with Ranga. As he just sits down on the step, like, his head in his hands, he's like, Bro, did that just happen? No, not another one. Not another one. And yeah, so Rimuru pretty much is Shizu, and Apollyon, he tells Ranga, he's like, Ranga, she's gone. Ranga's like, huh? What do you mean, Apollyon? Apollyon's just like, Ranga, like, she's dead, she's gone. Ranga's like, but Lord Rimuru's in there, he can use a healing potion. He's like, no. It's not that simple. And yeah, so Rigurd, Cavall, Eren, and Guido do arrive, and they get ready to walk in as they see Apollyon there, his head in his hands, just sad, really. As they're like, huh? As he's just like, yeah, going. As they see him, or they walk in, and the same thing happens. Rimuru turns around and does the whole crying thing. After this, he just walks off, and he walks like quite a bit as he walks in there, and he just lets it all out. He lets out all the rage, sadness, and everything. He's just like, no! Darth Vader, just no! As he crushes everything, he destroys all the trees, burning them. He's created a giant burnt site, which shall soon be where he trains. So yeah, he's just pretty much created a giant circle in the middle of the forest from fire. But he makes sure, like, none of the fire gets out of hand. Like, he lets out all the fire and all that, but after that, like, once he stops, he just brings it all back into him as he absorbs all the fire. Now, at this point, Apollyon is now at level 300,000, which is still rank A+, and it is a quite high tier hazard class. So he is a hazard class, able to destroy cities, possibly nations. Yeah. So, later on, the adventurers kind of prepare to leave, and yeah. So, the adventurers do leave, and Apollyon, he does say later skater to them. He kind of says goodbye, and the whole thing happens with them hugging and thanking Rimuru, pretending that he's Shizu and all of that. They thank him, and yeah, so yeah, later on that day, like, the adventurers had gotten their armor and all that, and that was pretty cool. And Rimuru, like, Riga asks, like, I assume you're not eating to this again, Lord Rimuru? Rimuru's like, yeah, I guess so. And Apollyon just turns to him as, because he's, like, walking past, and Rimuru's like, yeah, I guess, like, he's not, I can't really eat since I don't have taste buds. And Apollyon just slowly turns his head towards him as Rimuru looks at him, and then he's just like, Rigard! Sorry, that was probably quite loud. Yeah, he's like, Rigard! He's like, yes, Lord Rimuru. Rigard, today I've decided to eat with you. And Rigard's like, really, my lord? And he's like, yes, I have taste buds, so I can eat. And he's like, oh, splendid. We shall have a giant feast. And Apollyon's like, I double that idea. He just walks up, he's like, yes, 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 sounds good. So he's just like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, so, Apollyon and Rimuru, they start walking around as they see Riga and the hunting party ready to go out to get some bull deer and some good food, a good snack, as, they talk about how, like, there's a lot more monsters since Valdora's gone, or a lot more creatures in the forest, and instead of just sending Ranga, he decides to send Apollyon as well to go hunting, since Apollyon's just an absolute beast at hunting. Like, he's just a legend. Like, he just brings in stacks of food. The village is never going hungry again. Yeah, so they go around, and pretty much he's sent for both defense, just in case they do get attacked, and hunting. And Rimuru does go into the cave. And as they're walking around, Apollyon does see a few more things. As they've got a few different deer and all of that, and bull deer and different creatures, and different foods. And yeah. As this happens, Apollyon quickly stops everyone. He's just like, hold up, guys, stop. As Riga asks, like, what is it, Apollyon? He's like, I'm not sure. Crap! As he brings out a massive kind of ranged barrier to cover all of the kind of people, to cover all of his friends, as he's hit in the back with a giant fire blast. As he's hit and the shield goes down, the fire on his head just erupts with white fire. No, I'm kidding. They'd die if they erupted with fire. Like, Rimuru would have a lot less subordinates if he erupted with white fire. So yeah, his hair just erupts with a more royal blue fire. As he turns around, his head turning, rage filling his eyes, he's just like, you gonna hit me with my own attack? You wanna die, boy? So yeah, he's like raged. He's like, did you really just hit a Solarian with a fire attack? How dumb can you be? As the kind of grey, the older kind of man, he quickly says, young master, I'd be careful with this one as a Solarian. As the guy's like, Solarian, no matter. What is he? What is a Solarian? He's like, pretty much, you're useless. Not to be rude, young master, but your abilities, your Magical abilities are useless against him. No fire attacks can pretty much do anything against them. They are masters of the fire. They are said to be the children of the sun. And Apollion's like, oh, that's nice to know that you know your history. That's good. So why did you attack us? As pretty much the fire in his head started burning even more, his eyes starting to burn with a bright, deep, kind of royal blue color. As they're like, huh, we can win. That's 6 against 1. It's all good. As Ranga, it's like pretty much Apollyon ends up going like 3 against 1 with pretty much, yeah. So the pink, one of the other ogres, a smaller pink one, it knocks out all of the not special characters. So all of the side goblins and wolves and all that. Nobody who's got a actual good name. Like any named character, they're all good. They're special. But any of the side characters, they be sleep. So yeah. Yeah, so Apollyon, he takes 3 on 1. He pretty much summons a fire sword, which isn't superly strong, but it's like a katana crossed with like a greatsword. So yeah, it's pretty cool. As he summons that and he readies himself, he dashes as he just appears right in front of the kind of red ogre, the one that they called Young Master. As he swings for it, but his blade is blocked by the elder ogre. As he says, huh, you're fast. And just sends a giant torrent of fire magic towards the old man, who dodges out of the way. As this happens, Apollyon jumps back as he just senses pretty much a giant hammer just swing towards him. As he jumps back and just pretty much parries the hammer, as he kind of puts his arm towards it and just swipes it away, just boom, and it lands into the ground. As the kind of giant black ogre, he seems a bit mad about this, so he's like, oh damn. As he swings again, Apollyon sweeps under and sends a falcon. No, I'm playing with you, I'm sorry. As he sends a punch directly into the ogre's stomach, as he gets sent flying into a tree. And yeah, at this point, Ranga is fighting the who would he be fighting? He'd be fighting the blue ogre. He'd be fighting a blue ogre with twin swords, and what's his face? Riga would be fighting a purple ogre with a giant mace. As what's his face? As Gobta, he goes in to help Apollyon as he goes in to attack the grey, the older grey kind of ogre, as he gets sliced up. He gets whoosh, as the big slash appears on his chest. He's like, no, as he gets flung back. And yeah, this is when Rimuru does arrive, and he realizes, like, yo, what's going on? As he sees Apollyon just manhandling these people. As yeah, so he's pretty much taking on the red, old, and black ogres at the same time, while also being pretty much flanked by the smaller pink one. And that is the end of this part of the What If. I really do hope you guys do enjoy this, and get ready for a fourth part coming out in the very distant future. Not very distant, very near future. Sorry. Yeah, so I do hope you guys really did enjoy this. Subscribe if you want to, like, whatever you want. And yeah, just remember, God is awesome, you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much and have an awesome day.